Mario ventures into space, tackling some cosmic worlds and dealing with some galactic challenges far from the familiar Mushroom Kingdom. That is the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which we're going to be talking about right now. Hey friends, welcome to the channel. I'm your host Tim, and we exist to help Christians live in the world, not of the world, by utilizing our convictions in the movies and shows we watch. The Super Mario Galaxy movie is rated PG for some action, mild violence, and some rude humor. So we're going to dive into 5 convictions that may distract or hinder your relationship with Jesus, talk about any theological themes present within the Mario Galaxy film, and wrap it up with my own personal thoughts on this movie and installment of this Mario franchise. So without further ado, let's dive into the Christian Conviction Meter. Our first category here is going to be violence and gore, and there is a good chunk of that, just like there was in the previous film. There's lava, fire, explosions, crashes, things of that sort. There is, of course, also hand-to-hand combat, punching, kicking, hitting, all the things you expect from kind of playing those Mario games, and the action we see from the first film is very much carried over into its sequel. There is also the use of weapons within the film, whether it's magic, or it's an umbrella, or it's medieval weapons like axes, or a paintbrush that can turn into any sort of weapon. It's all used within this film. It causes a lot of destruction and chaos within this film. Lots of things kind of get destroyed and explode and things of that sort. So just like the last film, we are going to give this a 3 out of 5 in this category. Our next 3 categories is lust, substances, and profanity. And just like the first version, this film has nothing to worry about in these 3 categories. I didn't pick up on anything lustful in this film, nor should there be. It's a kid's movie. And of course, no substances. Again, same premise as to why. And then no profanity, same exact reason there as well. These 3 categories are all going to be 0 out of 5s. And our last category is intense/horror scenes. This is not a horror movie, so you don't have to worry about any horror images contained within the Super Mario Galaxy film. But there is some intense and dramatic moments. Some parts can get pretty emotional as things happen within this film. There also can be a bit of creepiness, once again, from the Koopa Army and dry bones and things of that sort that are contained within this one. Bowser Jr., specifically when he's geared up to fight, can come across pretty creepy, especially for younger viewers, so that is something to keep in mind there. And of course, a lot of the action and destruction and chaos within this movie can be pretty intense. But just like the last film as well, we are going to give this a 2 out of 5 in this category. So our grand total on the conviction meter for the Super Mario Galaxy movie is going to be a 5 out of 25. This one is not very high in its convictions in totality. However, it is fairly moderate, of course, in its violence and gore, and it is mild in its intensity. So, just as I like to say in every review we have, if anything we talked about compromises your convictions in any way, shape, or form, don't worry about watching the Super Mario Galaxy movie. No movie or show is worth you compromising your convictions that are God-given. Keep pursuing after him and the relationship you have with him. That leads us beautifully into our next topic as we dive into some theological themes that are present within the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And unfortunately, unlike the last one, which kind of had a bit of one here, but not overall, this one has nothing. I didn't find anything in particular. Unlike the one where, it's talking about kind of an underdog or second chances, things of that sort. This one doesn't have anything, and mainly that's because of the real lack of story that is a part of this film. We'll talk about that later when we get into the review portion of our time together here, but I didn't see anything remotely close to Jesus, the Bible, Christianity, the church. None of that is contained within this film, and I didn't see anything that could be considered any sort of theological themes present. So with that wrapped up, it's time to dive into what I think of the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And if you played the Mario Galaxy games, whether as a kid or teenager, whenever you played them, if you've played them though, there are a lot of references in here for you, which I know for me, I thoroughly enjoyed. There were several music cues that brought me back to when I was a kid playing Super Mario Galaxy, and made me very, very nostalgic, which was really, really cool. Visually, this film is still really, really cool. We explore a lot more within this film. Of course, it is the Mario Galaxy movie, so we get to see a lot more planets, a lot more spaces. It's very much a film that is, we're going to go and see and do as much as we can. And in some ways that is pretty cool, especially visually, as it still has the same style and tone from the first film that of course is prevalent throughout the Mario films, continuing that same colors and visual style, and all of that just makes it really, really great. Plus, on top of that, we get introduced to a few new characters in this one. Rosalina, Bowser Jr., and Yoshi are the ones that primarily have the most screen time. Yoshi, of course, is a particular highlight within this film, played by Donald Glover for some reason, but, you know, he actually did pretty good. I'm kind of surprised there. Brie Larson as Rosalina was great, and then Benny Sadafi, of course, played Bowser Jr., and he is fantastic as well. Love the inclusion of all these characters, continuing to expand the lore, but it is not just Super Mario Nintendo characters that are also part of this movie. There are plenty of references to other Nintendo properties. One, of course, the ones that was talked about earlier in the week was Star Fox, Fox McCloud being a part of this film. Played by Glenn Powell, and he is just as cool as you'd hope he'd be. It's fantastic, but there are a few other references here that I'm not going to mention here, but they are fun as well, so keep your eyes peeled for those. When it comes to the story, overall, it's fine. There is no depth to it whatsoever. It's very, very basic, but it's also very, very lacking. It's very much kind of plain. There's no substance to it, and there is particularly a lack of character development. Kind of similar to the first one, it's continued in this one of just lack of character development in here. There is none whatsoever within this film. Its main focus of this movie is showing the cool world of Mario and all the places you get to see and all the references. And that makes it fun, but I definitely wish there was a little bit more to the film in that regard. It's very, very lacking in this one. However, my biggest criticism with this film is, and it kind of ties into my previous criticism here, which is the lack of space within this film. There is so much within this movie that is bringing it to, you know, a crazy level. You know, they're going out and pulling in so many different references, and they're throwing different musical cues, and they're even pulling in from more Nintendo properties and things of that sort. It makes it a very jam-packed, dare I say, crammed film. And part of that also makes it feel very, very fast-paced. We move from plot point to plot point to plot point. A lot of the things don't necessarily make sense, and it doesn't really add anything to the entire story. It's like, oh, we, you know, separate the group, and they come back together, and all these other things that happen within this film. And there's not a lot of space to breathe or relax within this movie. It's constant go, 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 all the way to the end of the movie, because there's so much that they want to pack in. There's so much they want to tell. There's so much they want to bring in, and I think it's just too much. And it's not to say that all of it's bad. A lot of it is very enjoyable, but it's a very crammed film, and that is really unfortunate. And that was one of the big worries I had going into this, and unfortunately they did not change that opinion at all, because it was very, very crammed, very, very fast-paced. You do really have to pay attention throughout the film. I wish they just had a little bit more time to breathe. Could the film been a little longer to allow that? Sure. I think it would have been more helpful for the film overall if they had added that. So overall, it's a fun film, yes. I mean, it's fun to be in the world of Mario. It's fun to kind of relive some of those Super Mario Galaxy moments that I loved when I was a kid. I mean, it's one of my favorite games, and it definitely made me want to go and replay those games for sure. But this movie is very flawed. It lacks story, it lacks character development in this one. It has a really fast pace and it feels very crammed, yet it's still fun. Do I think this is one that is going to be loved by families? Absolutely. I have no shadow of a doubt. This is going to be one of those films that a lot of families are going to flock to see, and this in my opinion, is going to make a lot of money at the box office and will lend to a third one. Side note, there is 2 post-credit scenes within this film. There's one mid-credit and one post-credit. The mid-credit's more for a bit of humor, adding some stuff from a previous film. There is one at the end of the film that sets up a new character, kind of similar to what they did with the first one with Yoshi. And very excited to see where they take it. But even with its flaws, even though it's a very flawed film, I still very much enjoyed it. I love stepping into the world of Mario. I love seeing these characters. And so overall, I had an enjoyable time at the movies. So I'm giving it a 7.9 out of 10. And those are my thoughts. So let me know yours down in the comments below. Let's chat all things about the Super Mario Galaxy movie in the comments. If you haven't seen it, let me know what your expectations are, how excited you are for this film. Chat all about it in the comments. While you're down there, consider hitting that like, subscribing for us, joining our community here on YouTube. If you want to see more videos like this and be part of our community here, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to spend time with us here. We truly appreciate it. It means the absolute world to us. Before you go, there's a few video recommendations that YouTube is suggesting to you, one of which is the Super Mario Bros. Movie. So if you want to check out the first film of this franchise, it's available here. And we'll see you all in the next one.